Tunan, Tikas, Pahinga.
Okay, so right now mga kaibigan, inantay na lang natin na dahil in a few minutes from now, RD Rian, so may arrival of guest of honor din. Ha? So tapos pagkatapos ng pagdating ng ating guest of honor, yan yung arrival honors din ng iba pa nating mga VIPs. Then, ayan.
The flag raising ceremony and then the wreath laying ceremony.
Oh, so yan yung umpisa na. Kaya advice namin sa ating mga viewers dyan, keep on sharing the live para naman magkaroon kayo ng malaking ambag din ng ating history dahil 80th Leyte Golf Landings Commemoration ngayon mga kaibigan dito sa province of Leyte. Dito sa napakagandang park natin. So ito yung tinatawag na MacArthur Landing Memorial National Park. So kasama ko ngayon mga kaibigan, specialist ating mga bagong open dyan o bagong nag-open na kanilang social media. Kasama ko ngayon yung ating magiting na RD, Regional Director ng Philippine Information Agency, si Director Rian Arinto.
Alright, so everybody's preparing na for the next part of the program, especially an aton flag raising ceremony. Akala ko kanina nagpambansang awit, ito is part of the production pala.
Yeah, so yan yung Samliaw. Samliaw Dance. Samliaw Dance, dance group. Samliaw Performing Arts of Eastern Visayas State University. So yan yung proper na identification nila, Samliaw Performing Arts of Eastern Visayas State University. So ngayon, inantay na lang natin yung ating pagdating ng ating guest of honor. Pero nakita natin kanina doon sa stage, RD Rian, no? Yung ating Speaker of the House kasama natin.
Congressman Ferdinand Martin Romualdez and si Tingog Party List Representative Jude Asidre.
Yan. So,
salamat kita nga nakiduyog gihapon ining activity for this year's celebration of the 80th Leyte Golf Landings.
So magkaroon lang kami ng konting i-share din sa inyo na napakaganda ng weather ng panahon dito sa park mga kaibigan. So may oras pa kayo, especially sa malapit lang dito sa MacArthur Landing Memorial National Park, may oras pa kayo na talagang makapagpunta dito dahil yung program proper mga kaibigan in a few minutes from now. So pagdating ng ating guest of honor, so ayun, naka-formation na yung ating mga men in uniform or ating mga soldiers. Dahil nakita nyo, napakaganda, napakalaki ng ating Philippine flag. Ready na yung ating mga taga-PNP. para mag-raise ng ating Philippine flag. Tapos kanina, so bigyan lang namin kayo ng idea, especially sa mga bagong bukas ng kanilang Facebook or YouTube. So nagkaroon tayo ng tribute ng ating mga veterans. Tapos nagkaroon din ng marching kanina.
Kanina nag-present ito ang pag-tribute with veteran Jose Hakla. Veterano pala yan, Regional President, Veterans Federation of the Philippines, Region 8. Yan, Dr. Joel Joseph Cabides, and Regional Vice President of Sons and Daughters Association, or
SDAI.
SDAI.
Sons and Daughters Association Incorporated or SDAI. Tapos, syempre, magandang performance din ng Samliao Performing Arts of Eastern Visayas State University. So ngayon mga kaibigan, ayan, so on screen, yung atang sina Governor Ikot Pitilia, papunta ng atong, syempre, para kung sa waray-waray patapuon na yung ating guest of honor, parating na. Yung ating guest of honor sa ating activity this day mga kaibigan, no other than yung ating Secretary of Department of National Defense, si Secretary Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr.
Teodoro pala ang ating guest of honor.
Ayan, sa mga kaibigan, on screen, and then yung ating idol Governor Ikot Pitilia, Province of Leyte. Katabi din niya si Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez, si Congressman Martin Romualdez. Tapos yung iba din nating na mga invited or VIPs din. So, inantay na lang niyang pagdating ng ating guest of honor. So again, malaki pang oras mga kaibigan na pwede nyo i-share yung ating live para naman na yung ating mga Gen Z dyan, especially sa inyo, para well-informed kayo kung ano ba talaga yung ibig sabihin ng Leyte Golf Landings. No?
So gani ka inin mahinungdanon actually ang tanan nga tao din ha Leyte, ha Pilipinas, and even the whole world again. Gini-emphasize naton ang importansya ng liberation at that time.
Yan yung nga World War II, kaya meron tayong mga World War II veterans mga kaibigan. Tapos kanina, kung pwede niyo naman i-review yung ating live, so nagkaroon ng parade or yung ating mga veterans, living veterans, tapos yung mga sons and daughters din nila. Well represented din, may mga from Samar, mga iba't ibang posts.
As far as Katarman, ay so kanina Katarman.
Layo kayo ng Katarman. So mga ilang oras ba from our venue?
6 to 8 hours. 8 hours actually. Ayan na. Before mga 6 hours because of the road condition. Anyway, so ito karayo. As far as Katarman, naabot peranan para makig-join ang celebration ng 80th Leyte Golf Landings anniversary.
So tama ka dyan, RD Rian. Exactly. So talagang yung dedication nila. Kailang pagbigay pugay o honor ng kanilang mga veterans. So yan yung isa puso din natin, especially sa ating mga Gen Z ngayon.
Ginututupdo man siguro ang problema kay gotay lahi ang part to. So hopefully mas tagan pa hiyahin more emphasis ang pagtutduhan history, especially in part han Leyte Golf Landings.
Dahil yan yung nagkaroon ng syempre World War II. Wow, napakaganda aerial view.
Ito sa view didi ha Leyte MacArthur Memorial Park. Overlooking, kikita tipakan to ha. Palo siguro tanong apart.
Yan yung sa may exit yun sa may rotonda, yung sa may intersection doon. Yung sa may BIR yan. Yung may tent.
Green nga ko part. Imagine 80 years ago anong hitsura hinidit nga part
Kaya baka mayroong mga patay na dyan that time, so dilat na lang.
Makusog na ka bombardeyo. So ganda din nga mga oras.
Pero imagine that, napakaganda ng ating national park, RD Rian. So I am sure na ongoing pa din yung mga renovations diyan, yung improvements din. And with the help ng ating national government as well. And of course, maraming salamat talaga yung ating idol Governor Ikot Pitilia.
Especially Governor Pitilia for giving importance in celebration. And gihapon ini nga lugar pag maintain. Imagine, naguba inihan Yolanda, tapos gin-restore. And then gin-paurupay pa ining itsurahan aton Memorial Park, Leyte Landing Memorial.
Yeah, exactly. Kaya ganun mga kaibigan, yung ating mga young generations, kaya ni-restore dahil ganun ka-importante yung ating Leyte Golf Landings, mga kaibigan. So again, RD Rian, with that also, we'd like to say thank you sa malaking ambag, malaking tulong din ng ating First Lady ng probinsya ng Leyte. No?
Kaya talaga punong abalahin eh. Kaya every time may meeting, grabe ka seryoso eh, ma'am. Gusto niya pulido, ano tawagin niya, kumbaga sunod-sunod.
Oh, detailed
Oo,
talaga,
detailed.
oh, di ba?
Oo.
Siyempre, president din siya ng Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Oo.
Din sa
Almost
Leyte.
all meetings, nagpe-prepare pala, nakanto kita, representing the Philippine Information Agency para lang magkamayada kita yung masaluwag na promotion and advocacy related to the celebration ng Leyte Golf Landings.
Oh, tama ka dyan. So, ngayon mga kaibigan, nakikita niyo sa screen, yan yung dagat. So, yan yung tinatawag na Red Beach. O baka sabihin niyo, bakit hindi pula yung beach na yan? Siyempre, Red Beach dahil maraming mga dugo. Siguro yan yung
represents ang gera to dugo. Damon nag-suffer. Damon dugo nga umawas. Kaya tinawag yung Red Beach.
di ba? So imagine, napakaganda din ng dagat, no? Tapos,
Umando niya.
kaya mamamaya ng konti, ito din yung nagbigay ng excitement or excited din yung lahat dahil magkaroon tayo ng reenactment. So, kaya kung ako sa inyo, huwag kayong bibitaw, kapit lang kayo dyan, panood kayo sa ating live stream para naman makita nyo yung ating reenactment mamaya. So, maya ng konti, siguro dili namin sabihin kung kailan, basta darating tayo dyan.
I think, siguro naton guest of honor.
Malapit na yung ating guest of honor, mga kaibigan. So, yung ating guest of honor today, walang iba kundi yung ating Secretary ng Department of National Defense, the Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr. So ayan, nag-antay na yung ating Governor, yung ating Congressman ng 1st District of Leyte, na yung ating House Speaker din, Speaker of the House, si Congressman Martin Romualdez, at yung ibang mga VIPs din at officials ng ating probinsya ng Leyte.
So in a few moments, matikang na ito natin formal good talaga nga pag commemorative program naton Leyte Golf Landings Anniversary.
So ito yung program, mga kaibigan. So arrival of guest of honor, tapos arrival of honors, flag raising ceremony, wreath laying ceremony. Okay? So malapit na.
Tanod! No!
Ladies and gentlemen, the guest of honor, Honorable Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary, Department of National Defense. Mga kababayan, mga panauhin, Ginoo at Ginang, please rise and with one voice, let us all sing together, Lupang Hinirang, the Philippine National Anthem.
Tanghal! Ha! Mga pinuno, lipunan, pugay kamay. Na! Mga pinuno, kalipunan, kabakamay. Na! Baba! Ta!
We shall now raise the flags of the countries herein represented, namely Australia, Japan, United States of America, Great Britain, New Zealand, and Canada.
Tanghal! Ta! Mga pinuno, kalipunan, pugay kamay. Na! Mga pinuno, kalipunan, kabakamay. Na! Baba! Ta!
We shall now proceed to the wreath-laying ceremony to honor the memory of our comrades who fought on this very shore. May I request the guests to proceed towards the shrine proper.
Tanod, harap sa loob. Harap! Ginoo, handa na po ang pag-aalay. Kalipunan, harap sa kanan. Harap! Pasalong. Kat!
The wreaths that shall be offered. The wreaths that shall be offered are for the Board of Trustees, veterans of World War II, Lieutenant General Jaime S. De Los Santos, AFP, retired. For the Veterans Federation of the Philippines, Major General Romeo D. Alamillo, retired, National President, and Brigadier General Dr. Joel Joseph Cabides, AFP, MNSA, retired. For the Philippine Veterans Administration Office, Undersecretary Reynaldo B. Mapago, Administrator. And for the people of the province of Leyte, Honorable Carlos Jericho L. Petilla, Governor. For the people of Australia, Her Excellency Hei Kyung Yu, PSM, FCPA, Ambassador Plenipotentiary and Extraordinary of Australia. For the people of Japan, His Excellency Endo Kazuya, Ambassador Plenipotentiary and Extraordinary of Japan. For the people of the United States of America, Major General Matthew McFarlane, First Commanding General, U.S. Army, USA. For the Legislative Branch of Government, Honorable Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Speaker, House of Representatives. For and in behalf of the people of the Philippines, Honorable Gilberto C. Chudoro Jr., Secretary, Department of National Defense, accompanied by Lieutenant General Fernando M. Reyes, Philippine Army, Commander, Visayas Command.
Cut! Tanghol! Ta! Mga pinuno, kalipunan, pugay kamay. Na! Pinino, kalipunan, kabakamay. Na! Babo! Ha! Kalipunan, harap sa kaliwa. Harap! Salong, cut! Kalipunan, sulong. Cut! Panghol! Ha! Kalipunan, bukay kamay. Na! Kalipunan, baba kamay. Na! Baba! Ta! Ginoo, tapos na po ang parangal. Yes, sir.
May I request our guest of honor, the distinguished guests and members of the Diplomatic Corps to proceed to the monument for the photo ops.
Kalipunan, harap sa kanan. Harap!
Microphone. Mahina ini. Puro pa yun sa.
Kalipunan, sulong. Cut!
Okay, so kanina mga kaibigan, yung nakita niyo kanina na nagkaroon ng wreath laying.
Playing ceremony.
So yun, parang in honor din yung ating mga veterans
Kita ni
at area.
on screen is the red beach. Correction, diri, it doesn't signify ang red, ang dugo. It's just a code han mga allied forces na madunggo. So, ini nga area, this is red beach. Like, ang San Jose was white beach.
Aha.
So, my code, anyway, sa gihapon na representation han mga duguan na ko. Pero in reality, tinuod ang red beach is a code from Marasbaras down to Palo nga area. Like andito liwat may San Jose was white beach up to tulo sa may mga designation han mga code han area nga paglalandigan ng mga allied forces.
Yan ha. So yan yung isang kaalaman din natin. Dahil yung iba kasi, yung pagkakaalam nila na Red Beach Resort na tuloy So Red Beach, kaya nagkaroon ng ng maraming dugo. Kaya ngayon yung ating VIPs nagpo-photo opportunity sila sa ating monument.
Alright. So they'll proceed to the main stage
And thank you din sa nagbigay ng ideas na ganun
Thank you so much.
Alam ko din yung ating logo ng ating ETF Leyte Golf Landings, yung mga may significance din yan, yung mga red,
Blue,
white, blue.
Tikang haabuyog, tikang may yellow beach, blue beach, red beach, white beach.
Oh, di ba? So, talagang yung iba kasi hindi na nila pinapansin yung history
Sumopay kay Medak ito baga Barwarang. So thank you so much for that information.
Even yung ating mga, alam ko na, yung iba nating mga parents din, hindi nila alam pag sinabing Red Beach, kaya marami daw dugo. Marami daw dugo doon. Kaya sabi nila.
Kariguan dida. Resort.
Dahil ako hindi naman ako talagang pure na waray-waray RD. So yung narinig ko din yan before na bakit tinawag yung Red Beach? Dahil doon na sina MacArthur, marami daw dugo dyan. So,
sa code. Kain po maglalandan mga
pero correction, hindi yan Hindi yan yung ibig sabihin na Red Beach dahil maraming dugo na nalagay doon during the World War II So So, code lang pala kung saan sila magla-landing. Katulad ngayon, yung mga code na, code 1, code 2.
So proceeding na ngadto ha main stage sa naton mga guests para
Program proper na talaga, di ba? So, mga kaibigan, on screen right now yung ating guest of honor, si ating Secretary ng National Defense, no other than Honorable Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr. At andun yan si, syempre, yung ating Governor ng Province of Leyte, si Governor Ikot Pipilya. Proceeding na yan sila sa venue ng ating program para makapag-start yung ating program proper, mga kaibigan. So again, salamat sa ating talagang umaapaw na yung ating mga viewers. Keep on sharing, mga kaibigan, para magkaroon tayo ng ambag din sa ating napakagandang at history ng ating bansa, ng ating province. So, paalala, mga kaibigan, milestone tayo. So, 80th Leyte Gulf Landings Commemoration. Ang dami din.
Nag-hypocrite ko. Tatabo kay. I imagine the last time I attended the Leyte landing was in 2010 pa. So, naihan ang duro. So, that is the, kumbaga, nakukuha na ko, na-mesmerize na kit mga
diba?
pagkaya na.
Kung sa Bisaya, sinibukan ng kasulti Arderian, manglimbawt yun ibong balhibo mga kaigsunan, labi ng yun biyagi ka dire actual ginang tanaw sa atong activity.
And probably the next major activity nga sugad din pinaka anong tawag ini is maybe after
Centennial.
Mga 100 years siguro buhay pa kaya kita dito. So, kinahanglan gud pabilin una-una kasing-kasing naton mga batanon ang importansya ng Leyte Gulf Landings.
Di ba?
Ay naman siguro mga naisusulat ng mga libro, kasaysayan, siguro pwede nato ito balikan para natin ma-dibaruan ang eksakto gud nga mga panhitabo, istorya, and part of our history, especially din sa aton probinsya.
Tama ka dyan, Arderian. Hindi lang yung kasabihan na basa-basa pag may time. No! Dapat bigyan ng time para magbasa.
Actually, this is just part of the landing. May nagihapon mga celebrations sa ginhimo dito ha G1, Eastern Samar. Kaya actually dito unang magamay na mga sa gihapon han Allied Forces na nakabuling ato tribuer han pag
World War II.
Liberate han naton nasod during World War II.
At hindi lang dito sa Eastern Visayas, meron din sa may Luzon na part, di ba?
Pangasinan, may nagyapin nito. Mga later part of that year, 1944, 44, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so, talagang tumatanggap din naman kami ng mga mga ideas na pwede nyo i-share sa amin, information para i-broadcast din namin. So ngayon, mga kaibigan, kung andito kayo, napakaganda na ng ating MacArthur Landing Memorial National Park. So alam ko na ongoing pa din yung improvement. So tagkilikin natin na pumunta dito para magkaroon naman tayo ng syempre alaala ng ating history.
Gusto natin gihapon i-greet ang ating mga live stream viewers na gusto nila makig-share gihapon, makibahagi sa activity ngayon. Damot na sing happy Leyte Landing anniversary.
Kailangan ba sabihin na happy?
Yeah,
pwede happy. Di pila dahil andito ba?
Celebrate kita ang mga Japanese forces at that time. So at least maging malipayon kita. Kaya kung warihan to,
Paano na kaya, no? So, talagang we like to say thank you. Taos pusong pasalamat namin sa ating mga, syempre, ating mga great lolo and lola.
Ito mga guerrilla, ito time, ito natong mga veterano actually, natiglisog talaga. At ito nga time, ambot, di ko ma-imagine ano na rin kinabuhihan natong mga lolo-lola. Nananago nitong kabulkiran, natuthagragyo ng mga lugar na interrupt talaga nila panginabuhi at that time. So salamat na naton mga nakibisog para natin kagawasan.
Tama ka dyan, Arderian. Pero observe ko dito sa ating park dito sa MacArthur, ang daming mga balikbayans din, no? Daming mga balikbayans, mga kaibigan. Siyempre, parang ito din yung tinatawag na Great Leyte Homecoming.
This has been promoted by the provincial government of Leyte through the Leyte Provincial Tourism Information Center, Investment Center. So, ay rin paghatag in higayon nga makabalik ka naton mga ikasilitenyo nga niha probinsya nga ma-experience gihapon ano na ang kitabaguhan anong pwede may offer naton province para naton mga kababayan nga naggawas na nga gusto ginaaghat nga bumalik nga
Oo.
probinsya.
Siyempre naman. Tapos maraming mga naka-inline activities eh. Alam ko na siguro yung one night dito sa park nagkaroon ng Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yeah, I was
Napakaganda.
here. Oo.
Dito ka ba?
Oo.
Napakaganda ng ano.
Thursday night.
Thursday night, no?
Labinahan ginplay an iroy nga tuna bagat hapit ano ni tomorrow anak luha. Okay, siyempre ang mga tower here na nasabay hirahan pag tugtughan orkestrahan.
Oo nga eh.
An iroy
Kahit nga ngayon, kahit sinabi mo yun na yung na-play yung Ani-Iroy na ito na, para yung buhok ko dito sa likod parang gumagano din eh. Para kung nalimbawt pa akong balibo. Because I was here also.
Labot hadto ano before mag-upay mga kanta but pag play na talaga ni iroy niya to na dida na touch na akong akong damdamin that time. Last
Tapos,
Thursday.
yung sa LGU ng Palo din, nagkaroon din sila ng napakagandang activity din nila. Nagkaroon sila ng parang theater na ganun din, information din sa
Yeah,
history
dito
ng
may
Leyte
Pag-ibig
Landing.
Park,
Palo
Palo.
Pag- So congratulations kay Mayor Martin Pitilia. Talagang when it comes to mga celebration, history, o yung mga paano para ma-divert ng maging impressive yung ating mga, siyempre yung ating mga audience.
Going back, ano, kita natin mga war veterans. Adi, we have four by ni, lima. Lima.
Five.
Hindi,
Ang dami pa. Nandun pa. Oh.
Kaya
So
we
bilangin
were
na lang natin yung wheelchairs. Yung wheelchairs natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Baka mayroon pa dun sa dulo
We're
masyadong...
expecting lang nga upat. Actually, damo ngayon ang nag-aabot. No? And we believe mga veterans talaga ito, Hera. Ano? Kay, by the pictures lang.
Yan yung ating mga provincial government department heads ng province of Leyte. Kasama na yan. Andun yung ating provincial administrator, si Cora Alvero. Yung ating Philippine National Police as well.
Ato nakita ko itong mga fellow mga regional heads, regional, at kita ko ang taga Disud.
Baka hinahanap ka na nila. Asan ba yung ating RD ng PIA?
Parang mani ako.
Paki-inform na lang yun na wala sa kanila, hindi nag-join sa kanila si RD Rian Arento ng PIA dahil nandito kami sa dito kami sa live stream. Sir Glenn.
UST.
Si Ma'am yung sa DALG natin. Province. Alam ko mga sons and daughters na to eh.
Yun. So, dinagod pinaiha, magtitikan na aton na program proper and Leyte Golf Landings anniversary. Didilot sa front kung makikita ito itong lagwayan na aligyan pa natin mga provincial officials, animeba natin ng mga government agencies, mga taga-academ, mga ngatut kaluyo. O damo pa kami nga mga kandirila dito main stage. Ano ba tawag ito? Main stage ba ito dito? Or main
Yung sa...
venue? Oo.
para yun yung... lagay na natin ng official stage. Dahil andun yung...
Halaban na ligera. Amo ba yung kalsada tikaliha baras
Tikanto may...
San Jose.
bypass yung San Jose.
So, yan. Magat tikan net ratio para lang aton pag-commemorate ang Leyte Golf Landing. So, ali dito mga officials, iba-ibang mga government agencies, LGUs, and even mga eskwelahan para mag-witness ng 80th Leyte Golf Landings.
Tama ka dyan, RD Rian. So, i-inform lang natin biglayin natin sila ng ideas kung ano ba talaga yung program natin mamaya. So, umpisan to ng opening prayer ni Reverend Monsignor Gilbert Orbina, yung ating Vicar General Archdiocese of Palo. And syempre, welcome remarks ng ating gorgeous mayor ng Palo Leyte, Honorable Remedios Martin Petilia. At sundan din niya ng solidarity greetings. So, dito kasama natin yung Chairman, Board of Trustees of the Veterans of World War II, si retired Lieutenant General Jaime S. De Los Santos of AFP. Tapos, andito din yung administrator ng Philippine Veterans Affairs Office or PIVA, mga kaibigan. So, si Yusek Reynaldo Mapago. Tapos, andito din yun, magbigay din ng kanilang solidarity greetings. Si Major General Romeo Alamilio, or retired Major General Romeo Alamilio. Siya yung ating National President, Veterans Federation of the Philippines, VFP. Siyempre, dito din kasama natin mamaya ng konti, yung ating ambassador ng Embassy of Australia, Her Excellency Hei Kyung-yu. Tama ba yung pakakabigkas natin?
She's a Korean,
Korean.
in Australia. She's the ambassador of Australia.
At kasama din natin, I'm sure kasama natin yung ambassador ng Embassy of Japan, His Excellency Indo Kazuya.
So yeah.
At magbigay din ng solidarity greetings mga kaibigan yung ating Speaker ng House of Representatives of the Philippines, yung ating 1st District Congressman, Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez.
So, anniversary message from, of
Hindi,
course,
bago yan. Magkaroon muna ng,
a
dedication to peace.
It's a choral rendition of Irving Berlin's Heaven Watch the Philippines.
Oh, so ito yan.
Naalala ko ito when I was in elementary, kinakanta ito during flag ceremony.
Ganun ba?
Heaven Watch
Hindi ko na naabutan yun. Hindi ko naman ibig sabihin na matanda ka na. Hindi. Sino mas matanda ko sa'yo? Hindi.
I don't know, I'm only 32.
Baka meron lang ganun, no? So, yung mag-ano niyan, yung mag-perform niyan may is from the Visayas State University, VSU, Tolosa Coral.
And then anniversary message of the, of course, Honorable Governor Carlos Jericho Pitilla, and that will be followed by the introduction of our guest of honor.
No other than yung ating Vice Governor ng Province of Leyte, Honorable Leonardo M. Javier Jr.
And then to be followed, of course, by the commemorative message of the Secretary, Honorable Gilberto Teodoro Jr. of the Department of National Defense.
Siguro magkaroon din ng video may yung siguro may message ng ating presidente ng Republika ng Pilipinas, no other than His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. Tapos yung next part naman yan, ayan na, palapit na tayo. So may rededication of the Australian Memorial and unveiling of the U.S. Small Boats Association plaque to Australian civilian mariners. Siguro andyan din sa may part yan gaganapin. At yun na.
The most awaited part, of course, as part of the celebration is the reenactment
Oh,
of
yan
the
yung,
Leyte Gold Landing.
yan yung road to Leyte. Yeah. So abangan nyo yan mamaya mga kaibigan. So kung ako sa inyo,
Hindi nila, ano?
dito lang sa park. Basta dito lang.
Makikita niyan.
Tapos yung Leyte hymn, ay hindi na ako yung kakanta ng Leyte hymn.
Okay, nabatasanan na, ikaw permit na kanot Leyte hymn.
Yan yung bago ngayon, hindi na ako kakanta ng Leyte
Hindi ka
hymn.
na, live stream.
Dito na ako. Pero kaiba din naman ng level na ito. Kala ko, sabi ko, ba't napunta ako sa ganito? Sige, but anyway, I accept the challenge.
Of course.
Especially, di ba kapag kasama ko yung Regional Director ng Philippine Information Agency. Diba?
So later, may luncheon, pag-honor gihapon na natin mga veterans. That will be at the Leyte Convention Center.
Andun sila. And we'd like to say thank you sa ating Master of Ceremony, si Dr. Lesmes C. Lumen. So maraming salamat. And so papasalamat muna tayo sa ating mga people behind ng ating, of course, di ba? Ating live stream. Kina Miss Perlita Ripalda, dito sa atin. Kasama namin yan. Yung mga taga-DYMP, LTIPC, Miss Jessine.
Of course, we are also cross-posted, PIA Eastern Visayas.
Ay, thank you.
All our provincial offices all over the region, naka-cross-post po tayo. And this is also cross-posted sa AGIO, Association of Government Information Officers of Region 8. So, damo kita yan ang nagkakaroon nagkikita kapag kailan hininga Leyte Gold Landing's anniversary celebration.
So, right now mga kaibigan, nakita natin yung from Tingog Party List, si Representative Jude Asidre. Katabi niya yung First Lady ng Province of Leyte, si former Mayor Ann Pitilla. So, inantay na lang natin na siyempre papag-relax muna ng sandali dahil andun sila.
Kasi kasirakan na kasuhan kanina dito pag replaying.
Pero hindi naman masyadong masirak. Hindi man parang okay lang, di ba?
Pasalamat kita nga diri umuran dili duro-duro kapinggit at sirat. This is tamang-tama la. Sakto lang ka timpla.
Kahit nga kami dito nakabarong, hindi namin napipil na nainitan kami. Dahil hindi masyadong mainit eh. So So kung ako sa inyo dyan, pag malapit kayo, pag nandun lang kayo sa mga bahay niyo, punta kayo dito para makita talaga niyo, ma-witness niyo personally yung ating 80th Leyte Golf Landings Commemoration. Diba? So,
Kung gabi, mahusay ba nga? Of course, labot lahat ng Thursday kay concert mga na akong tuyo. May na ba mga kwan pa din mga
oh, maganda. Alam ko na meron pa ding wala ng night shows. Oh, dahil siguro mamaya merong activity pa din after ng siguro sa sunset na siguro mayroon.
Ayan, may sunset ceremony mamaya. Oh.
Dahil kanina na ipa-play natin yung sunrise. Siguro siguro mamaya ng konti ipa-play natin mamaya yung sunrise Pero kanina ipa-play na natin yung sunrise, parang activity yung mga veterans din. Imagine dito sila mga 4 or 5 in the morning. Diba?
Okay, so
siguro antayin natin ng konti mga kaibigan. Keep on sharing the live at sa mga sharers natin dyan, maraming salamat po. At sa ating mga 100 plus 100 million. Yan yung ako active din ako sa mga stream na ganun. So wala ng hundreds, talagang millions na. So ayan na.
People of Eastern Visayas,
Ladies and gentlemen,
and
punta
people
na kayo
of the
sa
Republic of the
ating
Philippines.
program proper. So see you later,
Welcome
guys.
to the
Keep on
80th
sharing.
commemorative program of the Leyte Golf Landings, also known locally as Liberation Day. Today, we are gathered once more in the National Shrine of Remembrance, the newly refurbished MacArthur Landing Memorial National Park, erected on the shores of Red Beach, Palo, Leyte, as we pay tribute to the men and women who participated in the historic landings that paved the way to the eventual liberation of our country. The activities today will leave an indelible mark in our minds and hearts, as this may be the last time that we are going to pay tribute to the last 14 veterans. We shall also witness a full-blown reenactment of these events, which unfolded in our country, with Leyte playing a major role that ended the war in the Pacific. It is of paramount importance for us to be able to pay tribute to our countrymen in all parts of the Philippines for their singular heroism and the sacrifices they made, so that today we all live in peace and harmony in a free new world. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation to be led by Reverend Monsignor Gilbert Urbina, Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Palo.
God of all nations, Lord of history, through your guiding hand, you have helped humankind shape its course, and you continue inspiring us to carve a better future for ourselves and others in this world. You etched into the heart of each and every man and woman the values of life and liberty, valor and resilience, independence and freedom for the good and welfare of all. As we gather today for the commemoration of the 80th Leyte Golf Landings, we salute to the valor and heroism of the Filipino veterans of the Second World War. We pay tribute to the heroes of the Second World War, ever aware that this tribute to them is also our tribute to you, who has taught us the values of sacrifice and valor, to uphold the true dignity of each one, and to defend the rights of everyone, as you have taught us in your life and teachings. Bless this event and this assembly as well, and all who will come here to pay homage to our heroes and those who have offered their lives for our country and our people. May this inspire all, especially our young people, to avoid a myopic vision of life, to sacrifice for the sake of others, to transcend selfish interests, to prioritize the good of all over personal goals, family and community values over private plans, and values common to humanity over particular ideologies. Confident in your help, your boundless mercy and grace, we pledge before you to work for peace, not war, to uphold and respect each other, to seek what unites us, not what divides, to reach out in love to others, especially those who feel alienated, ostracized, and abandoned. We pray also for our brothers and sisters everywhere who at present are confronted with the horrors and ravages of conflicts and wars. We pray for those who perished, especially the faceless dead, and we ask for your enlightenment to the leaders of nations and peoples who are behind and at the forefront of all conflicts, so as to never waver or tire to look for ways to an end to senseless destruction and violence. For the sake of all, we seek your comfort and strength to all victims of injustices and wars, and we plead for your unwavering compassion for each of us, despite our foibles and follies and unbridled ambitions, which sometimes impede our common desires for the best and ran counter to your very plan for us and this world. Give us all the courage and resolve to work for lasting and true peace, for the glory of your name and the welfare of humanity, and for this earth, our only common home. Amen.
Please take your seats. May I call on the Honorable Remedios L. Petilla, Mayor of the Municipality of Palo, for her welcome remarks.
Good morning, everyone, and happy celebrations of the 80th Leyte Golf Landings here on our beaches. Let me greet our very special guest this morning, His Excellency Kazuko Endo, Ambassador of the Embassy of Japan. Her Excellency Hai Kong Yu, Ambassador of the Embassy of Australia. Governor Jericho Ikot Pitilla. The Honorable Gilbert C. Teodoro Jr., Secretary of the Department of National Defense and our guest of honor today. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez. Vice Governor Sandy Javier and Congressman Karen Javier. May I also greet the former Mayor of Palo Leyte, Francis Ann Pitilla. Major General Matthew McFarland of the United States, the Embassy of the United States of America. Lieutenant General De Los Santos of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Veterans of World War II. Yusek Rinaldo Mapago, Administrator of the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office. Major General Romeo Alamilio, National President, Veterans Federation of the Philippines. Reverend Monsignor Gilbert Urbina, of the Archdiocese of Palau. Congressman Jude Asidre, Congressman Carl Kari, and Congressman Coco Yap. All the board members and provincial officials of the province of Leyte, all mayors, vice mayors, and officials of the municipalities of the province of Leyte, and all other municipalities in the region. All members of the diplomatic corps joining us this morning. Palau Vice Mayor Jojo Chiquillo and officials of the municipality of Palau. Dear veterans and families of veterans, the sons and daughters headed by General Cabides, distinguished guests, and all those who are gathered together this morning to commemorate this very important event in our lives 80 years ago. Beautiful, rainless morning to all of us. Actually, early this morning when we arrived, the skies were dark and gloomy and heavy, and we were thinking, oh my God, the rains will come. And then, all of a sudden, when we looked up, the dark clouds drifted away, and then there was the clear, beautiful morning that we are enjoying today. So thanks to the prayers of our heroes, and I know that they are with us today and praying for us for a beautiful celebration. So let me just share this welcome message to all of you. It is with deep honor and gratitude that I welcome you all to this historic commemoration, the 80th Leyte Gulf Landings anniversary. Today, more than just the remembering of that pivotal moment in world history, we also pay tribute to the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering spirit of those who fought to secure the freedoms we enjoy today. To our dignitaries, thank you for your presence, which reflects the strong bonds of friendship and cooperation that continue to unite our nations. Your commitment in honoring the legacy of this event ensures the future generations pledge and vow never to forget the sacrifices made on this very shore, the red beach of the municipality of Palau and all the municipalities in the stretch of the liberation of the landings. To our veterans, you are the living embodiment of bravery and dedication. The memories of the Leyte Gulf landings are imprinted in history because of men and women like you who stood in defense of liberty and peace. Today, we honor your service and the legacy you have left behind. To my fellow public servants, officials, and community leaders, our role in safeguarding the memory of this moment and carrying its lessons forward is very vital. Together, we bear the responsibility of ensuring that this history remains alive, not only in the hearts of Leyteños, but also in the hearts of every and all Filipinos. As we commemorate this significant milestone, let us remember that the Leyte Gulf landings mark not just the beginning of the end of World War II and the liberation of the Philippines, but a turning point in the global struggle for peace and justice. It is a reminder of what can be achieved when nations and people come together in the spirit of cooperation and solidarity. thank you for joining us in this solemn and momentous occasion. May we continue to draw inspiration from the heroes of the past as we work together towards a peaceful and prosperous future. Again, welcome from the heart of the Palonoons. Thank you for your presence today. Maupay nga aga aton nga tanan.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us now listen to the messages of solidarity from our visiting dignitaries. May I first call on Lieutenant General Jaime S. de los Santos, AFP retired, Chairman, Board of Trustees, Veterans of World War II.
The Honorable Secretary of National Defense, Gilbert Chodoro. Good morning, sir. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Romualdez. The Governor of Leyte, Governor Petilla. Your Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, the different veterans organizations, both in government and in the private sector, distinguished members, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. This year, as we commemorate the 80th anniversary of this historic event, is not only a reminder of the sacrifices of our World War II veterans, but also a reflection of how far our nation has come since those dark days. For many, the Leyte landing signifies more than just a military operation. It embodies the struggles and eventual triumph of freedom over tyranny. This was not just a victory in war, but a testament to the resilience and fighting spirit of the Filipino people. The descendants of these veterans are not merely passive witnesses to their forebears' sacrifice. As we participate in this year's commemoration, we are called to carry the torch of their memory forward. We must continue to fight for the values they defended: freedom, democracy, and justice. As Filipinos, we must ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain by continuing to defend their freedom they fought so hard to secure. The core of the celebration of the Leyte landing is a reminder of the strength that comes from unity. The liberation of the Philippines would not have been possible without the collaboration between the Filipino and American forces, as well as the collective will of the Filipino people. But the unity is best exemplified in the presence of the Japanese ambassador, because in the present day, a once adversary has become a staunch supporter, our partners in defense and economic activities. Let us be inspired by the heroism of those who came before us and be challenged to live lives that honor their legacy. Their battle may not ended, but our responsibility to carry their values forward continues. The enduring legacy of the Leyte landing is a call to remember and a call to act. Thank you. Good morning.
To give his solidarity message, may I call on Undersecretary Reynaldo B. Mapago, Administrator, Philippine Veterans Affairs Office.
Our guest of honor, the Honorable Secretary of National Defense, Attorney Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr., sir. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Congressman Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, sir. Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Governor Petilla, Mayor Petilla, other distinguished guests, veterans of World War II and their families, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great honor and privilege to join you today as we gather to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the Leyte Gulf landings. On this same day, 80 years ago, Palo Leyte became the stage for an event that would go down in our history as one of the most decisive battles of the Pacific during World War II and a critical moment in the liberation of the Philippines. As we commemorate today's event, let us also take a moment to reflect on the difficult truth that in war, nobody is a winner. Indeed, battles are fought. Winners are declared or victories are declared, but the cost of war is borne by all, with precious lives cut short and cities razed to the ground. What we all truly gain from war is the painful understanding that peace is precious and fragile, both at the highest price of selfless sacrifice. Here on this sacred ground, we do not merely commemorate a battle. We celebrate the spirit of cooperation that brought nations together to fight for freedom. Today, representatives from other nations stand with us, a testament to the enduring bonds of friendship and unity forged in the fires of war. And let this be a reminder that true strength does not come from weapons, but from the resolve to work together in peace. As we look to the future, may we continue to build bridges instead of walls, to pursue dialogue instead of conflict, and to stand as partners in the collective mission for a more peaceful world. The legacy of Leyte lives on in our shared commitment to safeguarding the peace for which so many have given their lives. And together in solidarity, let us honor the past by working tirelessly for a future free from the horrors of war and a future where peace prevails and nations thrive together. Thank you, and may we all continue to walk the path of peace and unity. Maraming salamat po and mabuhay.
Major General Romeo D. Alamillo, retired, National President, Veterans Federation of the Philippines.
May I acknowledge the presence of our guest of honor and speaker, who shall be properly introduced later. Other distinguished guests who have been mentioned earlier by the previous speakers. May I make special acknowledgement of the presence of the representatives or themselves of the 14 living World War II veterans of Region 8, surviving spouses, sons and daughters, fellow veterans, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a pleasure to be with you here today as we gather to commemorate the 80th Leyte Gulf landings, a pivotal moment in our history that marked the beginning of the liberation of the Philippines during World War II. Solidarity is exemplified this morning that in the spirit of friendship, the countries of the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Great Britain, and the Philippines now stand side by side with former adversary Japan in pursuit of unity, prosperity, and collective security. Just a while ago, about 800 post-World War II veterans joined the Grand March as a show of oneness or solidarity with the people of Leyte. Given better resources, we shall see more than 1,000 of them in the future commemorations. The battalion of veterans you just witnessed, who proudly and enthusiastically passed in review in a grand march led by veteran Jose T. Hakla, the President of the Veterans of the Philippines, Region 8, and a proud son of Leyte, attests to the appreciation of your veterans in honoring them in today's celebration as a tribute to the heroism and valor of all Filipino veterans. Today, as we face new challenges from this bully neighboring China, let us draw inspiration from the heroes of Leyte. Let their spirit of cooperation, perseverance, and hope guide us as we work together to build a stronger, more prosperous, and more inclusive Philippines. Let us honor their memory by fostering a sense of unity and solidarity within our communities, bridging divides and embracing our shared aspirations. The Veterans Federation of the Philippines vows never to forget their sacrifices and their stories. We pledge to honor their memory by working for the propagation of the heroic deeds of these World War II veterans and the promotion of mutual helpfulness among the post-World War II and their descendants. The BFP expresses its profound gratitude to the provincial government of Leyte for the use of a 1,000 square meter property at the government center in Candahog, Palu, Leyte, just 300 meters away from here, where the 25 million two-story BFP building has just been erected through the joint efforts of the Tingog Party List, Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, maraming salamat po, sir, and Veteran Jose T. Hakla, the President of Region 8. The new building, which is adjacent to the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, or PIVAO building, will house the BFP Regional Assistance Center 8 and also provide accommodation to the Armed Forces of the Philippines Pension and Gratuities Management Center to provide and serve better the needs of our veterans in Region 8. Moreover, the BFP plans to develop the building to become a memorial dedicated to Ruperto Cangleon, who led the resistance movement in Leyte and prepared the landing of the American forces led by General Douglas MacArthur, paving the way for the liberation of the Philippines from the Japanese invaders. Again, let us make this clarion call. Let us unite as one nation with gratitude for our past and steadfast dedication to our future together. We can overcome in any challenge and achieve greatness. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas, mabuhay ang Leyte.
For her solidarity message, Her Excellency He Yong-yu, PSM, FCPA, Ambassador Plenipotentiary and Extraordinary of Australia.
Secretary Teodoro, other distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. It is my honor and privilege to be here this morning to represent the people of Australia, and in particular the descendants of the veterans, some of whom are here with us today. They have flown all the way from Australia to be with us today for the 80th anniversary of the Leyte landings. Yell out if you can hear me, guys. I know you're out there somewhere. There you are. That's the Aussie spirit. Thank you. Thank you. We gather on this solemn occasion to offer our deep respect and to acknowledge the courage and sacrifice of those who fought so bravely in these seas, in the skies above, and on this land to contribute to the liberation of the Philippines 80 years ago. As many speakers have already said, this day marks a critical juncture in Filipino history, a day where the Filipino people, with the assistance of close friends, once again triumphed in the face of adversity. In February 1942, General Douglas MacArthur made his way from the Philippines to Australia to organize the American offensive against Japan, a primary objective of which was the relief of the Philippines. And on the 20th of March, in the small South Australian town of Tarawi, he uttered the words that defined his focus for the remainder of the war. He said, I came through and I shall return. General MacArthur formally assumed command of the Australian Armed Forces on the 18th of April 1942, a force that included 100,000 members of the 2nd Australian Imperial Force, 265,000 Australian militia, and 38,000 Americans. It was 2.5 years later, following heavy fighting across the Pacific by Australian, American, and other allied forces, before he was able to make good on his promise. And exactly 80 years ago, when General MacArthur was finally able to return to the Philippines, he came ashore in the company of Australian Defence Force personnel. For Australia, this anniversary speaks to the enduring friendship that Australia and the Philippines share in both good times and in bad. We stood, flew, sailed, and fought alongside our Filipino friends 80 years ago, just as we did over 10 years ago in the months after Typhoon Yolanda. And just as we are working closely together today to help assure Philippine security and sovereignty. Few people today would be aware of the extent and diversity of Australia's contribution to the liberation campaign, from the escaped Australian prisoners who fought alongside Filipino guerrillas, through to Australian warships that endured the terrifying ordeal of kamikaze attacks, and the Royal Australian Air Force aircraft that laid mines at the entrance of Manila Bay. The newly relocated Australian Memorial that's behind you at the entrance to MacArthur Park is testament to the effort and records the names of our fallen alongside the names of the units that commanded the more than 4,000 Australian service personnel who participated in the liberation of the Philippines. And I'm proud today to further recognize the rich history of Australia in the Philippines with the unveiling of, later this morning, of a plaque to the service of Australian civilians during the liberation of the Philippines, specifically those who served the Australian Merchant Navy and US Army Small Ship Section. Shout out to you guys there. I know the members and the chair of the section is out there. And so we will also be honoring the memory of Australian civilians interned in the Philippines. Today we honor those veterans and the families of those who fought and died in the Leyte campaign. We are humbly grateful for your service. And finally, to the governor and local government of Leyte and the mayors and people of Tacloban and Palo, thank you for your generous hospitality and for the continued remembrance you give annually to your nation's heroes and veterans and to those who fought alongside you to liberate the Philippines. Maraming salamat po and mabuhay.
His Excellency Endo Kazuya, Ambassador Plenipotentiary and Extraordinary of Japan.
Honorable Gilbert Teodoro, Secretary of National Defense, Honorable Martin Romualdez, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Carlos Jericho Petilla, Governor of Leyte, Honorable Remedios Petilla, Mayor of Palo, Leyte, Her Excellency Ambassador He Kyung-yu, Australian Embassy, Major General Matthew McFarlane, U.S. Embassy, esteemed Filipino veterans, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. It is a great honor to join you all today at the 80th commemoration of the Leyte Gulf landing. I stand here on these hallowed shores with profound reverence. Facing our shared history squarely and reflecting on the bravery of those who made the ultimate deeds and sacrifices during the war are the very foundations of our future-oriented relationship. To Filipino veterans, I extend my sincerest respect to each one of you whose unwavering dedication and service played a crucial role for the peace, prosperity, stability, and dignity of this great nation. We, the Japanese people, carry within our hearts the fervent understanding that the peace and prosperity we treasure today are built upon the magnanimity and benevolence graciously extended to us by the Filipino people. The spirit of compassion has been the cornerstone of our reconciliation. It continues to guide our future-oriented partnership. From our past struggles to our present endeavors, countless individuals across various sectors of society in both countries have worked tirelessly to rebuild trust and foster an environment of mutual respect and understanding. Today, our two nations stand closer than ever, not only as partners, but as the closest of friends. We will be celebrating the 70th anniversary of the normalization of our diplomatic relations in 2 years. Milestones that reflect the journey we have shared and the progress we have made together. Since 1966, Japan has proudly been the largest official development assistance donor to the Philippines, actively supporting sustainable growth through numerous initiatives across various areas of cooperation. The San Juanico Bridge was built in 1973 as one of the Philippine-Japan Friendship Highway projects, connecting Leyte and Samar provinces. Japan has recently been conducting the preparatory survey for construction of the second San Juanico Bridge project. Such infrastructure projects symbolize our shared commitment to the development and well-being of the Filipino people. People-to-people ties are also robust. Japan is now the most popular destination for Filipino tourists. I expect that we will be welcoming so many Filipino friends again around Christmas this year. In July, Japan and the Philippines concluded the second Foreign and Defense Ministerial Meeting 2+2 with resounding success. Thanks to the effort of Secretary Teodoro, a highlight of which was the signing of the Reciprocal Access Agreement, RAA, marking new era in our defense cooperation. RAA will further facilitate mutual visits of our forces and strengthen our joint efforts. Over the years, Japan has continued to strive in bolstering Philippines' maritime domain awareness and maritime law enforcement capabilities, providing aircraft to the Philippine Navy, air surveillance radar systems to the Philippine Air Force, and multi-role response vessels to the Philippine Coast Guard. Our relations now epitomize the profound depth of our special friendship. From the shadows of our past pains, we have emerged as steadfast partners, united in our dedication to promoting peace and prosperity. Together with the United States and Australia, we have become trusted democratic partners united by a common goal, free and open in the Pacific region. In collaboration with other like-minded nations, we have engaged in a wide variety of multilateral exercises, such as the recently concluded Maritime Cooperative Activity 2024 Sama-Sama exercises and the Commandant 8-24 to enhance regional security cooperation. As we turn our gazes at the world, we see the international order under strain due to escalating geopolitical tensions. We witness the ongoing aggression of Russia against Ukraine and the deteriorating situations in the Middle East. In our region, the security environment in the East and South China Sea stands as one of the most complex and daunting challenges. We unequivocally oppose any unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force, as such actions threaten the very foundation of the global order we are dedicated to preserving. We remain resolute and undeterred. We, the Japanese people, are determined to never allow the devastation of war to be repeated ever again, for the sake of present and future generations. By upholding the international order based on the rule of law, I assure that Japan and the Philippines, together with other like-minded countries, become united partners in building a world founded on peace, harmony, and goodwill. Our veterans have passed on to us this shining legacy, and it is our duty as torchbearers to ensure that our shared vision flourishes in the years to come. Let us walk this path together, united in our shared commitment to a prosperous future for both our nations. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang pagkakaibigan ng Japan at Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang kapayapaan at kamandaran ating sa rehiyon. Maraming salamat po.
For another solidarity message, Major General Matthew McFarlane, 1st Corps Commanding General, U.S. Army, Embassy of the United States of America.
Mr. Secretary, Governor, Mr. Speaker, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, honored government officials, fellow service members from many different countries, past and present, and especially veterans of this battle and battles since. Magandang umaga po. I'd like to thank Governor Carlos Petilla and Palo Mayor Petilla and all the people of Leyte for commemorating this historic Leyte Gulf landing every year. It's incredibly important we continue to hold the torch for the sacrifice of so many and the ideals for which they sacrificed as we continue to live our lives today. I'd like to especially point out how honored we are by the presence of the Secretary of National Defense, Teodoro. Sir, your commitment to peace, security, and partnership ensure that the legacy of this significant moment in history is upheld and remembered, and we continue to drive progress with those ideals. I'd also like to highlight Ambassador Zendo and Ambassador Yu and all the countries that are represented by flags on that monument to our front. Your presence here today is incredibly important as we move forward in the future with this battle in mind. On October 20th, 1944, also called A-Day, brave American, Filipino, and Australian service members fought valiantly, side by side, to recapture this area from occupation. This significant battle marked the return of General Douglas MacArthur and Allied forces to the Philippines, eventually leading to the liberation of the Philippines. The shared sacrifices undertaken by the U.S., Philippine, and Australian forces laid the foundation for the Mutual Defense Treaty and the close alliance between the U.S. and Philippines, the first in the region and the longest lasting alliance, which stands strong to this day. When he returned to the Philippines, General Douglas MacArthur hailed the Filipino people and their resolve, and I quote, an unswerving and resolute devotion to the principles of freedom that challenge the best that is written on the pages of human history, end quote. That devotion to freedom, your devotion to freedom and democracy still rings true today, enables the strong ties between our two nations as dedicated friends and partners in prosperity and ironclad allies. In 1944 and today, the United States and the Philippines are committed to securing a free, open, prosperous, and secure world for our peoples. The U.S.-Filipino alliance is one of the most important and consequential relationships in the region and in the world. As Secretary Blinken said during the historic 2+2 dialogue in Manila in July, our bilateral relationship is the strongest that it's ever been. We are capitalizing on this unprecedented moment in concrete ways. As was mentioned by the ambassador of Japan, working together with other like-minded nations in the region, like with Exercise Sama-Sama that was recently conducted here. Today, the United States and the Philippines, along with Australia and Japan, work shoulder to shoulder across the region, strengthening partnerships and supporting a goal of a free and open Indo-Pacific. This is the power of possibility. No challenge is insurmountable when we work together. The U.S. and the Philippines are also collaborating on humanitarian efforts. Last month, U.S. forces supported your efforts to respond to Typhoon Julian, providing needed logistics support to deliver badly needed supplies to some of the most remote parts of the Philippines. This effort is part of our commitment to support the Philippines' response to national disasters. 80 years after U.S. forces returned to the Philippines on this very beach, we stand with you in so many different ways. To the veterans and their families who are present today, on behalf of the United States government, I'd like to extend my deep gratitude for your service. And I am so grateful to live in a world of freedom and to work to ensure we can deter war, because we understand it better than anybody what the cost of war brings. Work to ensure peace prevails over conflict and to ensure we continue to live a life of freedom and democracy. Mabuhay, Damohay, Salamat. Thank you very much.
Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, Speaker, House of Representatives of the Philippines, for his solidarity message.
Maupaya nga ayong tanan to His Excellency, our guest speaker, guest of honor, Secretary of National Defense, Gilberto Chodoro, my classmate and my friend, to our Governor Carlos Jericho L. Petilla, our host, Mayor Martin Petilla Palo, of course, to Her Excellency Ambassador Heikki Yu of Australia, and all the Aussies back there. Yes. To His Excellency Ambassador Endo Kazuya of Japan, U.S. Major General Matthew McFarland, Administrator Reynaldo Mapagu of the Philippine Veterans Office, to our local officials led by Governor Carlos Jericho Petilla, Mayor Remedios Petilla, to our congressmen, Congressman Judah Sidre, Congressman Aaron Javier, of course, Vice Governor Sandy Javier, Congressman Okoyap and Congressman Kalkari, to our distinguished guests representing our gallant veterans, fellow workers in government, sa aking mga kababayan dito sa Leyte, maupay nga ka, hayong tananan. It's truly a great privilege to join you here as we celebrate a singularly significant event in history, not just for Leyte, but for the Philippines and the world. The Leyte landing was a turning point in World War II here in the Asian region. And as we gather here today to honor the brave men and women whose names may not be as famous as General Douglas MacArthur, but nonetheless made personal sacrifices so that we can be here today in freedom. Arahan aton mga veterano, nga anhaira mga pamilya, nga anhi, damo ka salamat. Ang nasud, nagpapasalamat hayo, hakadayunan. As we celebrate bravery, let us also celebrate the progress we've made in forging peace, so that what happened then will not happen again. We commend the solidarity of the nations of Australia, Japan, the United States, in our shared aspirations for a secure and peaceful region. Your presence today is a testament of how far we have come in terms of promoting and protecting our respective national interests, no longer through the destructive contest of arms and violence, but through peaceful and diplomatic efforts, which is more sustainable. These pave the way for the continued development of our respective countries, further strengthening our diplomatic and economic relations, opening up new opportunities for our mutual benefit. Let us continue working together in this regard. Damo nga salamat pagkananito sa 80th anniversary ng Leyte Gulf Landing. Mabuhay ang sabay ng Pilipinas.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 1944, right after the liberation of Leyte, the illustrious composer Irving Berlin, then assigned at the American Air Base in Giwan, Eastern Samar, wrote a stirring song which he sang for President Sergio Osmeña in a reception in Tolosa, Leyte. Let us listen to the rendition of the song, Heaven Watch the Philippines, to be rendered by the Visayas State University Tolosa Campus Alumni Choral. Ladies and gentlemen, the anniversary message of Honorable Carlos Jericho L. Petilla, Governor, Province of Leyte.
Thank you very much for lending me a microphone. Before anything else, I'd like to greet, of course, our guest of honor, Secretary Gilbert Chudoro. Thank you very much for gracing the occasion. The Speaker of the House, Congressman Martin Romualdez, again, thank you also for coming over and bearing the sun with all of us. Mayor Martin Petilla, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our officials from the national agencies, from the local government unit, from the private sector, special mention to our veterans, the 14 remaining veterans that we have, and the families who accompanied them here, and including those relatives of the sons and daughters of our veterans. Again, a pleasant good morning to all of us. We've been celebrating Leyte Golf Landings several years now. Every time I come over here, my son will ask me, "Where are you going?" I said, "It's October 20. We're going to celebrate again." "Why do you keep on celebrating? Every year you say the same thing." And I said, "Because it's time, it's the only time when we can encourage people to tell the story over and over again, because it's a story that needs to be told, even if it's the same." During celebration, it appears that same thing happened. In fact, one time, several years ago, we added a little twist. We asked a veteran to give a speech for a change. So his name was Manopuli from Palo. So we asked him, "Can you give a 10-minute speech?" He was enthusiastic, took the mic, and he told his story. In 1944, October 20th, 1,600 planes, 23 carriers, aircraft carriers, many tanks, explosion everywhere, paratroopers, sinking ships, crashing planes. While he was telling the story, I can imagine it was like an IMAX 360-degree movie. And he was so passionate, full of enthusiasm, animated storytelling, graphical in nature. He was supposed to give a 10-minute speech. After 1.5 hours, he paused and he said, "And that was day one." It took us 10 minutes to convince him to continue his story next year. Manopuli died. He passed away several years ago. We never got a chance to hear the second day. But along with our veterans, the stories that they have with them appear to be dying with our veterans, with only 14 remaining veterans. And that's why we have to celebrate. We have to find a way to continue and tell the stories even beyond the lives of our veterans. Perhaps that is why we're passionate in celebrating and in telling the stories. There have been so many wars that came after World War II. We have the Korean War. We have the Six-Day War in the Middle East, the Vietnam War, the Kosovo War, the Middle East Gulf War, the Afghanistan, and now we have the Ukraine and the Gaza Strip. I'm not sure what it is with the human race, but we seem to we never seem to run out of wars. There is an old saying,
You win some, you lose some. A coach will say this to his basketball team. You win some, you lose some. A political analyst will say this during election. You win some, you lose some. A businessman will say this when closing business transactions. You win some, you lose some. We appear to glorify war in the movies. But in the war, it is not applicable. You don't say you win some, you lose some. Because in a war, everybody loses. And that is why war should be avoided at all costs. But while war should be avoided at all costs, freedom has never been achieved without any sacrifice. When our sovereign rights are threatened, we cannot sit back and ignore the threat unless we want the brave veterans, spirits who fought and died for our country 8 years ago to come back and haunt us. Going back to my son's question on why we celebrate Leyte Golf Landings every year, perhaps the answer is we don't really celebrate. We commemorate and remember the events that happened 80 years in the hope that it can guide us, shape our future. As we stand here today, let us not only remember the great victory that was won, but also honor the peace that followed. Let us continue to foster unity, solidarity, and cooperation. Values that are more important now than ever. Let this day serve as a reminder of the power of hope, of standing together, and of the enduring pursuit of peace. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay kitang tanan.
Thank you, Governor. To introduce our guest of honor, may I request Honorable Leonardo M. Javier Jr., Vice Governor of Leyte, to do the honors.
Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr. is the Secretary of National Defense, Department of National Defense, and the Principal Assistant and Advisor of the President on Defense Matters, exercises overall authority, direction, and control over the D&D offices and its bureaus. Secretary Teodoro first served as Secretary of National Defense from 2007 to 2009, where he pushed for key initiatives in security sector reform. The Honorable Secretary also pursued strengthening of bilateral and multilateral security and defense cooperation with both regional and extra-regional states to further peace and combat non-traditional security threats. Prior to joining the D&D, Secretary Teodoro served as a congressman, a member of the Philippine House of Representatives from 1998 to 2007, 9 years. Wow. As a congressman, he principally authored Securities Code of 2000, shifting the Philippine Securities Regulation System from a merit regulation system to a full disclosure system. He was a member of the Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council, the LEDAC, and was the head of a sizable block of the nationalist People's Coalition representatives and had stints as the Assistant Majority Leader and the Deputy Minority Leader. Secretary Chudoro was also a former youth representative, having served as a member of the Provincial Board of Tarlac, Kabataan Barangay KB Chairman of Region 3 from 1980 to 1985. Secretary Chudoro attended De La Salle University with a bachelor's degree in commerce, majoring in management of financial institutions. He attended the University of the Philippines, College of Law, and received the Dean's Medal for Academic Excellence Award. He placed first in the 1989 Philippine Bar Examinations. He has a master's degree in law from Harvard Law School in Cambridge, Massachusetts of the USA, and was admitted to the State Bar of New York. He completed the Command and Staff course of the Philippine Air Force and the AFP Joint and Combined Staff. Officer course and won the Leadership Award in both courses. Secretary Chudoro was awarded the Philippine Legion of Honor with the rank of Grand Commander, the first to be awarded such a rank. Wow. He is also our Mista, a proud member of the Philippine Military Academy, Magilas class of 76. He is married to Monica Lopez Prieto, the Philippine Special Envoy to the UNICEF and a former member of the 14th Congress of the Philippines, and he is also a father to Jaime Gilberto. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome our guest of honor, Honorable Secretary Gilberto Gibo C. Chudoro Jr.
Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to our distinguished Vice Governor, the Honorable Sandy Javier, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, and a proud classmate, the Honorable Ikot Petilla, Governor of the Province of Leyte, the Honorable Remedios L. Petilla, our Mayor and former classmate in the House of Representatives, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador Yu and Ambassador Endo Casuya, Senior Department of National Defense officials led by Undersecretary Lieutenant General Reynaldo Mapagu, General Romeo D. Alamilio, our military host for today, our CEMCOM Commander Lieutenant General Fernando Reyeg, colleagues in government, our veterans present today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to represent His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. today in today's commemoration. The President was personally invited by His Excellency President Prabowo Subianto
of Indonesia, who takes his oath of office as President today. And as we know, Indonesia is a very important ASEAN partner, and it is indeed an honor for the President to represent us in this historic event. The President extends his greetings to everyone, especially to the people of Leyte, fellow government officials and employees, and distinguished guests. Before I go to the meat of what I want of my task today, it is perhaps providential that our President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces is from Leyte, is a son of Leyte as much as he is a son of our area in the north. And it is providential because as a continuum and as honoring the sacrifice of the veterans here, to include his father, he continues the legacy of building national defense and resilience, not only against those who would want to occupy our territory or to abuse our territorial integrity, sovereignty, and to take over our sovereign rights, but also building resilience against natural disasters and calamities. And we do this not only with the synergy between the legislature and the executive department, but also in cooperation with like-minded nations represented by our distinguished visitors here. And I will read the message of His Excellency the President. 80 years ago, Leyte witnessed a turning point in history. Imagine being here, right in this very shore. General Douglas MacArthur stepped off a landing craft and made good on the 3 words that kept a whole nation hanging on: I shall return. What happened on October 20, 1944 still resonates with us today. Beyond being the largest naval battle of World War II, it marked the beginning of our long walk to freedom. And freedom, as we know, does not come cheap. That day, a vast armada of ships slowly appeared on the horizon. For Filipinos, after enduring years of harsh occupation, the sight of those ships was the unmistakable sign that the long, dark night of oppression was nearing its end. And freedom was no longer just a distant hope, but an imminent reality. General MacArthur, along with President Sergio Osmeña, walked ashore at Red Beach in Palo, Leyte, and that moment became emblematic
of the resolve of the Allied forces and of the Filipino people.
Although these men came from different backgrounds, they were united by a single cause: freedom. They came from the United States, Australia, and even from our own soil, facing extraordinary challenges brought by a determined invader. They gave everything for the possibility of a tomorrow free from oppression. Today, we celebrate every soldier who has left home, not knowing if they would ever return. We pay tribute to our brave men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice, and we remember civilians who lived through years of fear and deprivation, yet held onto hope. To our veterans, words will never be enough to express the depth of our gratitude. What you gave us goes far beyond what we could ever repay. You have shown us that courage is about carrying the weight of sacrifice,
about standing firm in the face of overwhelming odds, and trusting that your struggle would bring freedom to others. Because this fight did not end in 1944. It lives on in each of us, and it is our duty to continue their legacy. Sa ating mga kabataan, na hindi naranasan ng digmaan, ngunit minana ang aral na kaysaysayan. Naway magsilbing paalala ang araw na ito. Ang kalayaang tinatamasa natin ngayon ay hindi basta ibinigay. Ito ay ipinaglaban. Bunga ng dugo, pawis at luha ng ating mga ninuno. Mga kababayan, sa ating mga veterano at sa bawat Pilipino, ang laban nila ay laban natin. Let us carry forward the lessons of those who gave their all, so that we can prosper in a society where hope and opportunity flourish for all. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas. That was the message of the President. On my end, as the Secretary of National Defense, I would like to convey my utmost support to all initiatives that aim to ensure that the lessons and legacy of the Leyte Gulf landings are preserved and shared and